That's
All
right.
You know what? Let's not do that. We did that on Strike and Mike. You listen to us talk about Heidi Byrick getting ousted from the SPLC. Let's look at some of the responses to this event.
Okay.
From some prominent conservative figures, some people that are wanting to respond to it.
They're like, what the hell? I love gay people.
Yes. So remember our pal Benny Johnson.
Shapiro. Oh.
Benny Johnson, the plagiarist that also I don't know if he works for TP. He's like in that sort of MAGA conservative movement somehow.
Questions were abhorrent.
He's this literal nerd, and he looks like a nerd. He acts like a nerd. He's a famous plagiarist. He used to work for BuzzFeed. They fired him for plagiarism.
Right, I remember this. Yeah.
And the guy's just a general scumbag. He will literally say anything for money.
Mm-hmm.
But so his response was this, and there's a number. I'm just gonna read a number of these tweets, and we're gonna do some like visceral reacts. There were a number of trolls who sabotaged the Q&A portion of tonight's TPUSA event. Many of the questions were abhorrent and not asked in good faith. I'm going to beg to differ on that, Benny. I think these are asked in perfectly
good faith.
Now, granted, the idea, perhaps they were not asked in any expectation of a good faith answer from Charlie.
But one would be very welcome.
But that is different than them not being asked in good faith. That is different because these people believed what they were asking about. They weren't just trolling. They believed these things. So, white nationalism and anti-gay hatred have no place in our movement. It's like, okay, then, that's exactly why your movement is a pile of shit, frankly.
Yeah.
This is what the left wants. It's time to wake up. And we got some genius political analysts in here in the replies here. Now, most of the replies, this guy got ratioed all to hell for this, as you can imagine.
I'm sure.
Most of the replies are just people like, like, fuck you, faggot. Like that.
Yeah, basically.
Or effectively that. But there's like some geniuses. One guy's like, it probably was the left.
Oh, good
It's like
Lord.
the brain colliding inward at the speed of a particle. Like the guy's like literally like the universe collapsing, small brain. Like,
if you're a real conservative who believes in individual liberty, then above all else you want less government control over our choices, less government authority to tell us how to live, more freedom for all Americans. These hate-filled gremlins are not conservative. That's from Benny.
That is not like what anybody gives a fuck about. Like, I'm sorry, like what kind of ideological fucking pablum is that? There's another new word I'm going to throw out there. Pablum.
It's literally, how can we stop this? How can we can't beat these people with words. We have to make sure that they're morally condemned so that no one does this anymore and that no one goes along with them because they're scared of being ostracized.
But who's animated by these fucking platitudes?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That bullshit about less government control over our choices, you don't accomplish that. There are certain places where people want that. You don't accomplish that, but that's not what people are really fucking worried about. All right, Benny? It's not.
I mean, more freedom? Like,
that's just an abstract freedom. That's just an abstract bullshit thing. Like, what do you mean? They mean ultimately what are you talking about? What if they get a chance to get specific on that? They're just going to say, like, low taxes. Literally, that's it. Low taxes.
I mean, am I free to exercise my First Amendment rights? Doesn't seem like that's really working out so well.
No. And also, like, we could do a further philosophical dissection of the question of freedom and what it entails. Is it merely absence of government intervention in your life? Like, because other actors can intervene in your life and make you less free. In fact, there's a number of significant other people that can, and their answer, the libertarian answer, and probably the conservative answer now to that is, well, that's just life. Nothing. And it's like, well, maybe if a government could protect me from that, maybe if collective action manifesting itself through state policy, I would be more free. If the government could protect me from other actors that would prey upon me in the private sphere. But that would be socialism. So, it's just shitty, stupid platitudes that, like, don't mean anything to anybody, and they don't even do anything about any of it anyway. And it's like, people are more worried, like, an immigrant's going to take my job and a fucking tranny's going to touch my kid. What are you doing about that?
What
are you doing
libertarians
about that?
had more substance to their positions than this. And we all know how unpopular libertarianism was.
Yeah, it's not.
This
yeah,
is just
it's not popular.
sad.
Yeah, it's like they're resorting to platitudes of really shallow libertarianism, and they have no intention of ever exploring further in depth. Like libertarians at least would take these ideas and explore them out to actually, frankly, absurd limits, but at least they were like had a little bit more to them than
at least it's an ethos.
Yeah, it's like, say what you want about anarcho-capitalist,
Exactly.
like say what you want about recreational nukes and marijuana plantations, but at least it's an ethos, you know. So
And that's why we gotta bully these people. We have to bully them.
It's never going to stop. It's not going to stop. They suck. They're not popular, and the only people that are going to come to their defense in like the public sphere, in like it's just going to be dumb boomers that aren't participating on any important level anyway. Like the people that are buying their shit, one, you're never going to know how many astroturfed, like if it's on Twitter or something like that, how many astroturfed, how many of these accounts are like paid accounts or controlled TPUSA. Because I'm telling you, let's not get gaslit on really how many dumbass conservatives there are. I know it seems like there are. And a lot of times you'll see, the funny thing is you can tell when it's genuine when the boomer says something that's just like God knows what kind of thing they're repeating. But when there's like perfectly towing an ideological line and they've got like American flags and like Israel flags and like, yeah, go everything that TPUSA stands for, like that's fucking AstroTurf, dude. That's like, you know that these groups have like thousands of Twitter accounts that they have to amplify their stupid shit. Like this guy, you really think Benny Johnson is really as popular as like his supposed follow count there? Like I doubt it. Like, you know, it's like these organizations, part of their operation is social media, and part of that is like generating a number of accounts and getting them to follow and
this
amplify.
Is great. This one guy retweeted him. He's like, "What these retrograde losers don't understand is that what American conservatives want to conserve is American liberalism. American conservatism is not European conservatism. So you want to conserve American liberalism?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
That's what we're doing here.
That's
your message.
Okay, you know, and
that's your fucking message.
If I were Stryker, I'd be like, yeah, that's right. I want European conservatism. Fuck you. Like, no, but I mean, on some level, that's my response too. Like, yeah, no, fuck American liberalism. It's fucking terrible. It's shitty. Why should I like it? Because I was born here? Because I'm an American, I have to like American liberalism? No, let's do a little bit better than that. We can do better.
It gets better.
Yeah, unfortunately, it does not. But yeah, this is the thing. American liberalism, it never gets better. It only gets worse. But so that was Benny. So and then here we have our old buddy IMC, Ian Miles Chong, the most principled man. Principled in that he literally never says anything that people don't pay him to say. That's his principle. He's never broken it. I literally only say things when I'm shilling. I've never said an honest thing in my life, and I won't. I only shill.
Based.
Yeah. Oh God, please don't isolate that. Yeah. White nationalist trolls have infiltrated TPUSA speaking events
trolls.
With Charlie Kirk to make the conservative movement look bad. I like how that's what he thinks is to do.
Oh no, because being white,
how are they made to look bad?
He's doing the social enforcement, like being associated with white nationalism is the bad look that they're trying to avoid. That's
exactly right. So,
that's what it is.
So let me.
So it's like these people aren't in there because they're earnest, serious white nationalists that want to have a political discussion. They're in there just to tar and feather, not tar and feather, but to get to smear their stain on the beautiful, clean conservative movement and make it
right. So to make the conservative movement look bad, as they shout out disgraced Nazi academics, no one's ever heard of them. They're talking about Jones there, and Jones is not a neo-Nazi. That's just factual. To Charlie's credit, he's handled them all with class. No. And the audience boos him. That's not true either. Like, frankly, particularly on the gay stuff, the audience was booing Charlie and his little gay black friend. So, but what he is saying is, now, I agree that the goal here is to make the conservative movement look bad. I actually agree with him. Mm-hmm. But he's looking at it from a different perspective. He's saying, we're going to look bad to liberals. He's like saying, they are there to he's basically saying,
they're fucking up our operation of making us be like liberal part 2.
Right. And he's saying, like, they're presenting to the outside world the image that the conservative movement is filled with people like them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And to us, it's like we make Charlie Kirk look bad because he's a fucking cuck.
Right.
To show that he doesn't care about the issues, that he's a shill, and that he's an empty suit or an empty pair of jeans and Vans, and like he doesn't care about anything. He's
an empty retainer.
Yeah, he's just like he's like a balloon-headed empty. He's like an empty head with a small little face on it and Vans on the, But like, so that's what we're saying. So he looks bad from that perspective to us. He looks bad to people that are actually on the right, actual true philosophical right-wingers that actually have a approach to their political ideology and would like to see some real-world results that manifest that. He looks bad to us. This IMC is saying it's going to look bad to liberals. They're going to think we're all Nazis.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what's going to be amazing? Imagine when liberals think that we're all Nazis.
That
we are. What's going to happen then? What are they going to think then? Then they're going to think, boy, this is scary. Maybe we should just shut the fuck up and stay home.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, and Will Chamberlain chimes in. The buddy Will Chamberlain, the guy who tanked the website faster than any man in history.
Oh, man, so we got all the clowns waiting in now.
It's funny, Will Chamberlain, not to flex, we get 10 times the web traffic you do. Like, I've looked at the data, and what I found didn't surprise me. I get 10 times. I mean, you have 10 times my followers on Twitter, but that's AstroTurfed. I have organically 10 times the web traffic that you have. Your website fucking sucks. And you tanked that shit. In 3 months, you went from 1.2 million views to 150,000 views a month.
Way to
Pathetic.
go.
And so he says, credit to, so he's talking to Rob Smith, the gay homo, the Blake.
The gay homo.
The black gay homo. He says, credit to you and Charlie Kirk for handling the Groyper mob with class and plenty of well-deserved flippancy. Rob Smith actually had the sort of the funniest reacts on Twitter. He was like, he said, so Rob Smith, tonight a bunch of alt-right white supremacist racists infiltrated the TPUSA culture war event. That was wild. It's like he's almost like excited. He's like almost like he's not expressing outrage. He's like excited almost. He says, take note of all these people. Oh, then he starts to imply like they should all be doxxed, right? Take note of these people when you see them.
Of course.
They're not what this movement is about and should be called out like the scum they are. So he's like now really like, instead of saying like, oh, they just suck and that's not what we're about, he's going to take the next step and be like, figure out who they are and dox and intimidate them.
I found it.
That's the next step for Rob Smith. So there was some other similar reacts to that of the people. So these are the people that are in the conservative sphere. Like, you're never going to get a reaction to this from the likes of, the top level. Like Chris Wallace is not going to be reacting to this. Tucker's not going to react to it. Although Tucker, I wouldn't actually classify as being in the conservative movement. But you know what I mean? Like the high level conservative people, Sean Hannity is not going to be reacting to this at all. But the people that are there to sort of attempt to be the social media and the youth part of the Republican Party, who are Charlie Kirk and Ian Miles Chong and Will Chamberlain and such, like, and the MAGA people, they're the ones. They're sort of like adjacent to TPUSA or part of TPUSA itself. They're the ones that are affected by this because they see it and it has to scare them because they know they're not popular. This is the thing. Like, you're not popular. Will Chamberlain, you see your web numbers. You are out there bluffing. You're out there bluffing. Remember how afraid he was when Richard Spencer was on CNN? How mad he was? That he was like, why is the liberal media not censoring my enemies? Like, they're supposed to do that. Like, I actually rely on that so that I can keep my platform and I can present as if I'm like some kind of actual option here. But when they gave Richard a platform, it's like then he was so mad. He's like, he even said, I thought we had solved this problem. Remember, he said that on his live stream about it. So they cannot handle the competition from us. They know that it threatens them. They know, and since they're there, like more on the higher, like Sean Hannity has no idea. He's on Fox News. He's getting money, whatever, right? Boomers are tuning in every night. But on the ground, these guys, they're supposed to do the social media, the MAGA piece stuff. They know that the fucking people are not liking this stuff. They know that when you go to these things, people are like, what's with all the immigrants and faggots? Are you going to do something about it? And they're like,
the answer is no.
We're all about immigrants and faggots.
Yeah, we love immigrants and faggots.
This is literally what
I'm struggling.
Conservatism 2019, immigrants and faggots. That's like fucking. That's their fucking slogan.
Wow, it's the Guns N' Roses song. Immigrants and faggots.
And that was another song.
I mean, it's their entire position.
They're
just,
my
I don't like socialism.
constituency. They come to our country. Think they'll do as they please. Well, they're right.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. You did the immigrant song. Like,
I already did the immigrant song.
Oh, yeah, you did. Do another one.
Kind of sucked. I should do it again.
Yeah, it wasn't. I'll be honest, it wasn't your best effort. But the song itself isn't very good.
I can't do that.
I'm
It's
saying
like
yell
impossible.
like fag instead of like ah. But again, like,
yeah.
I don't even know.
Oh, you're having trouble hitting that note, are you? Here, make it a word too, instead of just ah.
Yeah, well, the word fag is basically just ah. But also, like, that song is not even all that good of a song to begin with.
This is a good
like,
song.
It's kind of pleb.
Got a good song right here.
All
Great.
right, so
Ready?
we're
So
playing
we're
it
gonna-
now instead of on the other side?
Yeah, just play it. No, on the other side we got the Merchant Minutes. We'll play this. We'll take a break. Do the Merchant Minute.
Good.
Come back.
Good.
So,
this was basically the culture war. This is what Charlie wanted the culture war event to be.
well, this
But
is
it
how we
turned
win
it
the
out.
culture war with this crazy zany song that I did.
Yes, this is how we win it.
Yeah.
But it's also describing what Charlie literally, unironically wants his events to be like.
Yeah. So, happy Halloween. We'll be right back with that.
You
How can I
are
replay on
listening to the Daily Soa.